Okay, we're going to look at how to value a human life for life insurance purposes. How much life insurance should my client purchase? We'll look at one method of determining how much life insurance a person should buy. There's other methods, we're just looking at one of them. We'll estimate the amount of money necessary to replace his family's share of his income given he dies today. So here's the example. Daryl has a wife and a young child. His income is $95,000 this year, and he expects 2% raises during his career. He's only 32 years old. He plans to retire in 35 years, so we want to replicate 35 years of his income. His self-maintenance cost total $20,000 this year. What does that mean? If Daryl dies, we won't have to buy him food and clothing and so on, so we're going to take that $20,000 out of his salary. That's his self-maintenance cost. If Daryl dies today, his wife would deposit the life insurance proceeds into an account expected to yield 5% annually, and from that account, she'd take annual withdrawals to replicate his income. So how much life insurance does Daryl need? The answer, his family's share of income is $75,000. It's his salary minus his self-maintenance cost, his clothing costs and food costs and so on. So it's $75,000. And here's the math. N is 35. He has 35 years to go in his career working. It's 1 plus the investment yield. His wife will deposit the proceeds of the life insurance at 5%. So we're going to use 1 plus 0.05. This is the inflation rate, is 2%. So I'm doing the real rate here, and I'm multiplying by 100 because the calculator accepts integers, not decimals. So it's 1 plus the investment rate divided by 1 plus inflation minus 1 times 100. This is his family's share of his income this year. Every year it's expected to rise by 2%. That's why I put this here. The future value is 0. We set the calculator PY and CY to 1, and we're doing beginning payments. If he dies, we'd like his wife to be able to take out the first payment right away. After all, his salary would end right away. So Daryl may opt to buy. The answer here is about $1.7 million. He may look at this and opt to buy a policy that would pay his wife $1.7 million given he dies today. If he were to die today, his wife would get $1.7 million. It is tax-free. The plan is she would deposit it into an account yielding 5% annually. Right away, she'd take out $75,000. Each year, she'd take out 2% more than the previous year. In 35 years, the money would be gone. So the takeaway here is life insurance can be used to replicate income. Let's take a look at this. How much life insurance would Daryl need in 25 years? In 20 years. How much life insurance would Daryl need in 20 years? Well, in 20 years, your N is 15. In 20 years, he only has 15 years left of working. So I took the 35 years and I subtracted 20. And I also increased the first payment at 2% for 20 years. In other words, I figured out the future value of $75,000 given 2% inflation over 20 years because it is 20 years later. Calculator is still set to begin. And the answer is $1.375 million, or about $1.4 million. So the takeaway is certain life insurance needs, such as salary replacement that we see here, call for less life insurance as our client ages. In 20 years, his wife needs about $1.4 million, not $1.7 million, to replicate his income. That's it.